Everybody, or just some of us, depending on how this decides to work. Not sure why we didn't have a connection to our Facebook page, but that's technology for you. Anyway, what I want to dive into here, we're going to run the open. We'll let some more people join, and then we're going to talk about kind of where we go from here in the forecast. I think that's the most important part of the messaging that I want to get out. Is kind of what happens from here in terms of our storms tonight, our next round of storms, and the heat. Okay, we'll be back after this wonderful open. And welcome in, everybody. For those of you joining us on Facebook, this is actually our second attempt. For some reason, we didn't connect to Facebook the first time, so I appreciate those that joined us on our YouTube channel. It was a cute crowd, let's just say that. So anyway, good to be with you on this Wednesday evening, guys. It's meteorologist Matt Wentz. What I want to go over is I've had several Facebook messages coming in asking about our storm chance tonight. If we still have severe weather in the forecast, some of you are hearing that we do. Some are getting confused with our next severe thunderstorm risk. And I also want to talk heat. It's not the prettiest thing to talk about. It's not the most fun thing to talk about, but it's something we need to take seriously because we're going to get hot around here. And we do have another round of severe weather. So we'll tackle that here in this Wednesday evening edition of Region Weather Live. As always, up above me are our sponsors, Tiger Plumbing, Public Surface Adjusting, stjudehouse.org, and Griegers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We thank them for keeping everything for free. They're just awesome folks to work with. Okay, here we go weather-wise. So this is what we've got going on. There's a boundary over us right now. So the bulk of the action with this complex is out towards the east, okay? Here we are sitting pretty northwest Indiana, right? We're doing okay. What we've been seeing, we've seen severe weather, multiple rounds of it in Michigan. We had that round earlier today. This is the final round of severe weather out of this complex. And you see the tornado warning there. That should be allowed to expire in LaGrange County out towards the east. We've got severe weather near Goshen. I mean, it gets pretty nasty pretty quickly as you head east. For us, though, we're at the tail end of this boundary. And I'll tell you, it's been really hard to crank anything out of this. The bulk of the energy is well east of us, so there's not a ton of lift in the atmosphere. We are very unstable right now. So, if something pops, the possibilities that it goes, gangbusters, but I just don't see that happening because we're not able to get enough lift right now. So what we're seeing are these little downpours that try to get going, and they, eventually develop into large thunderstorms out towards the east. But there's just, again, not a lot doing here in the region. So, is this going to develop further down to the south? The models are really hinting at a big line of storms developing right here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what we're going to see is these continued little pops on radar with that boundary as it sinks down to the south, just given the instability. But I don't see this being a big severe weather event for us here locally. In fact, I don't see severe weather out of this locally. And again, that should answer several of you asking questions on our Facebook page about our severe weather chances tonight and conflicting information. So I do not see a big severe weather event tonight. I do see these little downpours continuing to develop for some of us as we'll head down into Stark County shortly. We may see it develop back into areas of northern Jasper County. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, but I don't see severe weather for us. Bulk of that's going to be over here. So if you have travel plans out towards the east, that's where it gets a little gnarly, especially in eastern Indiana and north central Indiana as well. Okay. So that should answer that. Let me quickly change screens here. I'll answer any questions on that if you get a chance to ask. If there's anything you need to know on tonight's weather, I'd be happy to answer that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a different screen now. So let's jump in. You get my big mug. Hi. Hope you guys are having a nice evening, by the way. Let me say hi to some folks. Kyle says no more heat. He's sick of it. Jeff says hello. Deb says hello. She says hola. Deb is working now. Oh, it's working now. Yes, Deb. We had all sorts of issues here trying to connect to Facebook, and I don't know what happened. Someone unplugged it for a second. Felicia, good evening to you. She says no rain Friday night for the fair. I know that's on a lot of people's minds. Linda, good evening to you. Michael says PSA is incredible. Carl says hi. Susan, hi. Eileen, hi. Say hi to the family for me. I will, Eileen, for sure. And Mark, hi again. And Nestor, hello. And Ray, good evening. I think I got through everybody. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Okay, let's get to sharing this. And we're going to share this. And we're going to share this. Here we go. Okay, where do we go from here? We'll talk heat last. I'll answer questions as always. We're going to have another round of storms, all right? And this one's going to get kind of funky as well. Tomorrow, I think we're fine. So all this action that we have outside right now is going to kind of zap the atmosphere tomorrow. And there's also going to be something that comes in called a cap in the atmosphere tomorrow. So I don't think we have any storms to worry about tomorrow. All right, it's going to be hot, but not terribly hot, just hot. And the reason why is this cap that comes into the atmosphere is basically warm air aloft. If you've ever heard that term, that the atmosphere is capped today, it's basically as you go up into the sky, it's supposed to get colder, okay, the further up you go, okay? And clouds rely on that. So as a cloud condenses, it continues to grow as long as the air gets colder up above it, all right? So that's why some setups, when we have really cold air aloft, we talk about that when there's really cold air up above us, that can feed explosive thunderstorms, right? Because the cloud is growing real fast into that cold air. What a cap is, and this happens sometimes, you get a layer of warm air that comes in, usually at the mid-levels, you'll get a layer of warm air that comes in, and so that cloud will rise because it's getting colder, colder, colder. And then it hits this layer of warm air and it says, all right, I'm done growing. And wherever that layer is, clouds can't go above it at all. So you'll have days where there is this robust, huge threat for severe weather. And it doesn't happen because sometimes that cap doesn't erode, all right? That cap will be there all day. So these clouds can never go up and form into giant cumulonimbus clouds, all right? So hopefully that helps explain what a cap is in the atmosphere when you hear that. And we should have one tomorrow, which means we're not going to have a ton of growth to clouds. We should stay rain-free tomorrow, okay? Which is tough to do in this atmosphere. At the same time, sometimes you'll have a cap, and what you're waiting on is for that cap to break, or a strong enough uplift or updraft to punch through that cap, break a hole in it, and basically it's all cold up here, so that cloud goes boom. So a lot of times when the cap breaks, that's a lot of times during severe weather, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting to see if the cap breaks or if it doesn't. And when it does, you can get explosive thunderstorms because it goes so much colder as you get up above you. All that being said, we're going to have a cap tomorrow, and I think we're dry. All right, that was the 2-minute version of here's why we're dry tomorrow. Okay, sorry. I don't ever want to waste your time. I really don't. I'm very conscious of that. So there's that. Okay, so here we go. So dry tomorrow, and then Friday's where it gets interesting. Friday's going to be hot. Okay, we'll talk heat in a second. It's going to be really hot. But Friday night, as it looks right now, Friday afternoon, Friday night, we'll have to watch. But the models are depicting some kind of giant area of showers and thunderstorms. Perhaps a squall line that stretches from Michigan back towards Iowa. I could see that happening. This is all with an actual front. What we've been seeing have been these waves of energy that have worked through the atmosphere that have kicked off these complexes of storms. This is going to be more frontal based. So we're probably going to see more of a widespread severe threat rather than a complex, tight, complex, potent area of storms. We'll likely see some kind of line. We'll see how this evolves. But all indication is sometime late Friday into Friday night, we could have some pretty decent severe weather around here. Storm Prediction Center's highlighting it. They're not overdoing it yet. So again, we'll see how that evolves. But I think we get some good storms around here then. So I know someone asked about the fair on Friday night. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a chance, again, some of the modeling showing that will be dry. So there's that. As we get beyond Friday, the weekend looks good. Saturday, we could have an isolated storm in our southern counties. That front will just kind of linger there. I really think we're going to be dry Saturday as of now. And then Sunday looks pretty good as well, as we'll have some kind of system out towards the west, okay? Before I talk numbers in terms of heat, I want to show you dew points. So this is that muggy feel. It feels downright tropical outside. It's thick. You sweat the second you go outside. That's what happens when you have low 70-degree dew points, all right? It's funny. I taught everyone on the radio stations. If you listen to us on the local radio stations, it's funny. They were talking about this today, and they're like, "Well, Matt taught us this." humidity, if you're looking at your phone app or any other number, humidity doesn't help tell you much of anything. It tells you if the glass is full compared to how much moisture it could have in the atmosphere, or if it's empty. That gets so confusing, so I don't deal with that. Dew point is the true number you want to look at every day to tell you whether it feels humid outside or whether it feels comfortable outside. That's why we do the Muggy meter, right? We do the Muggy meter to tell you, and that's based on dew point, to tell you how it feels outside. When your dew point gets into the 70s, it's tropical. When it's 60 to 70 degrees, it's humid. When it's below 60 degrees, the dew point, it's comfortable outside. And the lower it gets, the more comfortable it gets. Sometimes in the wintertime, we'll have dew points near 0 or below 0, and that means there's no moisture in the air and it's super dry. That's when you're zapping yourself and everything, okay? But for now, it's very tropical outside. In that tropical air, I mean, incredibly tropical. That tropical air stays around tonight. This is tomorrow, still tropical outside. This is tomorrow night. This is Friday. We could have dew points approaching the upper 70s, which is more humid than Florida, all right? I mean, this is incredible air. And a lot of this, Mark, if you're on here, which I think you are, you always bring this up. Not a lot of it, but some of it is corn sweat is what they call it, off of the cornfields in the Central Plains states. Corn doesn't actually sweat, okay? But there's a lot of evapotranspiration that comes off of that. I know these are all big words for Wednesday night, and you didn't ask for this. Anyway, the corn crop puts a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. I'm not kidding, all right? That's why you tend to get some of the highest dew points or the most humid air in the entire United States in the Central Plains, in Illinois, and in Northwest Indiana this time of year. I kid you not. I usually get just disgraced people that have emails that send me that they're very upset because they think I'm kidding about the corn crop. I'm not. Anyway, real thick humidity around here on Friday. You can blame the corn, but watch what happens Friday night and Saturday behind those storms. Look at that. That is extremely comfortable air that comes in here. So Saturday into Sunday, into Monday, into Tuesday, into Wednesday, comfortable. It's going to be so nice, you guys. So just know there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's summer. I know it's supposed to be hot. A lot of you like the heat. A lot of you don't like the heat. If you don't like the heat, you are going to get some really nice days coming our way next week as this huge air mass of low humidity comes in, okay? All right, last thing I'm going to show you is heat index. We're going to go through that. Who cares what the temperature is outside the next couple of days? It matters how it feels, okay? So this is, let's see, today's Wednesday. So that was today. It was hot. Tomorrow, hot. I mean, we're having heat indices in our southern counties, Newton, Jasper especially, mid to upper 90s tomorrow. We are going to have a lake breeze. So if you head to the beach tomorrow, not a bad day to do so. It's going to be, in the 70s and 80s lakeside. It's going to be pretty nice. And then for like Valparaiso over to Maryville to LaPorte, we're going to be feeling near 90 tomorrow afternoon, okay? And that's in terms of heat index. But then we get really hot around here on Friday. So here you go. These are your numbers on Friday, if you could see those. Forecasted heat index above 100. Heat advisory will be issued if it's not already. I haven't checked. But it's going to be really hot around here Friday. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Outdoor construction workers, I get it. Just take breaks, okay? You don't need me to preach what to do in the heat, but please do all the stuff you're supposed to be doing, okay? Saturday, much better. Still hot down south, but we should have that cooler air coming in. And then look at this. This is Sunday. Feeling like 70 in Gary on Sunday, 71 in Michigan City, feeling like 80 in Rensselaer. Sunday, I'm telling you guys, is going to be great. Okay. That's all I have for you right now. I don't think I need to switch back to anything else. We should be okay. Let me answer your questions and we'll get you on your way. Okay. Rachel, you're welcome. Tracy says power is out in Roselawn. Oh no, Trace. Man, without air conditioning too, I'm sure that's not fun. I hope it comes back on. Maxwell says, looks like today underperformed. It did compared to who you were listening to, Maxwell. We never preached. You notice I didn't say anything about this afternoon severe weather event. I did not see it. I didn't see it. That morning cluster was it. I mean, that took a lot out of our atmosphere. It took a while to reload today. So I don't think today underperformed, but compared to the models, yeah, I think it did. Compared to some other forecasts, it did, right? A lot of people were forecasting severe weather tonight. You did not hear that from us, okay? And again, that's one of those days where, I think we got it right. We don't always, right? But I did not see that severe weather threat for us here locally after that first round went through today. Diane is excited for Pierogi Fest. She said, will Friday be the worst day heat and storm wise? Diane, absolutely. Saturday gets much better. Sunday will be much, much better. Saturday will be kind of the transition day for that. So there's that. Mark says, Back the Blue Bash Ride is Saturday to benefit an 8-year-old girl who suffered a stroke earlier this year. You guys have that every year, right, Mark? I remember you were telling me about that last year, at least. Saturday looks good for it. It really does. What a great cause, too. Yeah, Linda says the corn's to blame from this. Then Jacob brings up a good point. And Jacob, I mean, this is an interesting fact. And I don't even know if I want to say this. We're 3 months away from potential snow. That's it. So please cherish the warmth while we have it. I mean, we have snow in late October sometimes. I can't believe it's only 3 months away. So please enjoy. So Jacob, 3 months from now. Heather says, what you're saying, us curly hair girls are going to break Heather, yes, pretty much. Donna wants me to blow up the map for our area. I don't think I can, Donna. I can do this. And that doesn't get any bigger. Oh, hold on. I'm on the wrong screen. Yeah, see, it just gets, I can't get in there, Donna. I'm sorry. Let's see. Maxwell has a good question. Could the very warm Gulf have a warm fall this year? For us, I don't think that'll impact us a whole lot, Maxwell. The hurricane season, the Gulf is very warm. The oceans are very warm right now. A lot of that has to do with global warming, right? We know things are warming. But in terms of, why it's so warm, there's another reason that isn't necessarily global warming. It's the fact we haven't had a lot of big hurricanes to stir things up. If you look at global ACE, which measures the intensity and energy out of a hurricane season, it continues to be down over the last couple of years. And when a storm, the oceans rely on hurricanes and tropical storms to turn the ocean up, okay? What it does when you have winds and waves, it pulls the cold water from underneath down in the ocean up to the surface. So surface temperatures in the ocean will often drop. Same thing happens in Lake Michigan. When you get a big line of storms across, you'll notice that water temperature goes down. It actually gets colder. It's because it churned up the water. When you don't have a big hurricane or tropical system to turn up the water, it just sits there and it bakes underneath 90-degree temperatures, which they have down in the Gulf. And so that's another reason why it's bathwater down there, is because we haven't had a good storm to turn things up. That may change later this year. Will that, imply that we have a worse hurricane season? Well, Saharan dust is having a lot to do with that as well, really tampering it. So we'll see. But in terms of us locally, the only thing I could see that doing is supplying a little bit more moisture with storm systems that make it all the way up here. So, but I don't think our fall here locally is going to be warmer due to the Gulf. Good question, though, for sure. Chris, I think the cap will break on Friday. I'm not worried about the cap on Friday. It's tomorrow that we should have a nice cap in place to keep any storms at bay. But Friday, I think we could get some pretty gnarly storms around here. And again, I'm not seeing a ton of discussion on this yet. We'll see, I think when a lot of meteorologists get the models tomorrow, if they show something. But I mean, you think about it, we've got a big change coming into the atmosphere. We're going to get notably less humid this weekend. So there's a sharp temperature drop. Plus, we're going to be really hot and really humid around here. So instability is going to be off the charts. So we'll see. And Chris, to your point, there will be a cap in place sometime Friday, right? But I'm not worried about it breaking. I do think it breaks on Friday as we go throughout the day. So that's that. Donna, no problem. I got you covered. Donna's asking when the next rain chance is. Donna, we're looking at Friday. I think we're dry tomorrow. Again, a couple little things will pop up here tonight, perhaps, but Friday looks to be the best chance of rain. And I would pin it more later in the day, like afternoon, evening, into the overnight as it looks right now. Yeah, Maxwell, absolutely. Yeah, you're on it, buddy. Yeah, the water vapor transport with the warm Gulf. Yeah, I could see that. And you know what that would lead to? It'd lead to what Sarah's talking about, more of that perhaps. Let's say the Gulf is warmer, you get a little bit more rapid evaporation. that gets caught up in a storm system, slings our way with some cold air in place. Ooh, we could get some good this. I can't say it. Thanks, Sarah, for that. I think that's it. Okay. I think I've answered all your questions. Mark says cumulus. I think you meant to say cumulus or cumulonimbus clouds just reported in Michigan City. Well, there you go. I don't see a whole lot of action out towards Michigan City the rest of the night. All right, guys. I hope that helps. Again, severe weather threat tonight. I'm not too worried about it. Rain threat tonight. I don't think a lot of us are going to see rain. And then tomorrow we should be dry. It's going to be warm. Friday we deal with hot, humid day. Mainly dry, should be during the day. It's afternoon and evening that we'll watch for potential severe storms. Rain may linger into early Saturday just a little bit, and then Saturday looks good. Alexis, I see your question on there asking about Saturday. I think Saturday's good. We'll have lowering humidity by the hour. We could pop an isolated shower storm in our southern counties as it looks right now. That front will still be down in that area. But then as we get into Sunday, my goodness, folks, it's going to be beautiful. Okay. Chris, you're welcome. Linda, you're welcome. Alexis, you're welcome as well. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Okay. We'll talk to you soon. We'll keep you updated on that Friday thread, especially. Okay. All right. Thanks again.